Hi guys, today I'm going to do my first book haul of 2018. This is my first book haul in a really long time, but lucky for me, Christmas definitely delivered. I love getting books for Christmas. The first one is Little Fires Everywhere. I am so excited. You've all heard of this. Apparently it's about many things. Someone goes mad and burns a house down, but then there's like an adoption that then like a town gets caught up in it, and I really kind of like the stories where there's a town and everyone's involved, because it feels like a small community that's going to gang up on each other, and there's going to be like backstabbing and like secrets that have to be unveiled, and it's just so pretty. And I just don't know what it means by the small little paper house on fire. I mean, whenever there's paper involved, obviously me and Laura are quite interested because we are the TwoPaperGirls, but it just looks so, I'm really excited to get around to this and see what it's about. And Jodie Picoult says it's amazing, and I love her books, so this is going to be a great read. Next up, we've got Kate Atkinson, A God in Ruins, which is the second book in Life After Life, but they're not really linked. Like, you can read them both separately, but this one has a character in from Life After Life, which I have on my shelf, which hopefully I'm going to read soon, because I just love what these are about. I love like books set like during the war or about the war, particularly this book, which is about a man coping with the after-war effects, and I just like those personal, like autobiographical but like fiction-y books about people that have gone through some sort of trauma but then deal with it. And it's just going to be so good to get into and read these two books, because Kate Atkinson is like a really famous novelist at the moment, and I still haven't read any other books, so this is going to be great. The next book is one that I'm really excited for, but that is, everyone's going to go, huh? But I'm quite excited for this, and that is The Water Will Come by Jeff Goodall. And this is not autobiographical, it's like non-fiction about this guy doing lots of research into the rise in like water levels in the whole world, or the ice caps are mounting, and global warming's real, even if the President of the United States doesn't think so. And this is just all about how people won't be able to live near the coast because all the islands are going to be underwater, like Greece, that's going to be gone. And it just seems so weird that the world's not going to be the same forever, it's going to keep changing. And this is just something really interesting to read. And obviously the front cover is quite disturbing, because that's kind of like a big city and the skyscrapers are underwater, and it seems like a dystopian fiction book when you look at it, but then it is actually non-fiction. And I just need to educate myself more on the big issues if I want to go into publishing when I'm older, and also because I'm working with people all the time, knowing about the big issues and being definitely like ethical and knowing about all the sustainability issues is definitely something that I need to be more up on. But saying that, we have The Book of Dust by Phillip Pullman. I haven't read the Golden Compass series because I just didn't fancy it. I mean, I watched the film and didn't like it. I thought it was a bit childish for me because I come into it when I was a bit older. But this book just looks really good about, I don't know, demons, a guy in a boat. I'm not really sure. It's the first book in what's going to be a series though, which is exciting because I like picking a book up when you know it's going to be part of the series and then staying with that series for the whole time it's going. And I just love the cover, it's just the most beautiful thing, and they've got a little hyena chasing the little ferret down here. I just really want to go into this not knowing really what's going to happen, because the blurb and the back is quite confusing really. The next book is a book I've actually already read, but Laura was kind enough to get me the illustrated How to Stop Time by Haig, illustrated by Riddell, who is absolutely amazing artist, because I've had a quick look through some of the illustrations in this book and it's just so beautiful. Probably gonna get this tattooed on me somewhere and reread it with the nice pictures in pretty soon. The next book is a book I also picked up because I've read a book by them previously and really enjoyed it, and that is Wonder by Emma Donoghue. She wrote The Room, and me and Laura had this thing about The Room where we never wanted to read it for years because it was on our shelves and it was like an adult fiction book at the time, and we were still really into our YA and we didn't want to read The Room. But then we did like a buddy read and had a pact that we'd both read The Room, and we did. And it was absolutely amazing. So when I saw Emma Donoghue's book, The Wonder, I knew that I had to pick it up and read it, especially because it's beautiful. And it's also going to complement my read more diversely resolution, because it's about a girl called Libright, who is a young English nurse, but then she goes to an Irish village, so I've never been to Ireland, and it's also about a girl who apparently hasn't eaten but is still alive, and she just wants to research, see if this is even possible, and it's called a domestic psychodrama, which sounds really interesting. So I'm going to get into this hopefully when I'm fancying something a bit psychological and a bit dramatic, and see if I really enjoy it. The next book is one of my first out of 2 poetry books that I've got to show you, and that's Ordinary Beast by Nicole Sealey. I'll be honest, if you like John Green and Nerdfighteria and his videos, you will notice that several of these books are off his recommendation video that he did not too long ago at the end of 2017, and I just wrote them all down on my Christmas list, and Mum and Dad went and got me a few of them. This is just a lovely, lovely poetry collection that I just can't wait to read, because I used to love poetry. I used to write quite a lot of it, and I fell out of love with it studying it at university, because I just found like I couldn't put pen to paper anymore, like classic writer's block really, but as much as I don't want to really write it anymore, I still want to read it and enjoy it, and if John Green recommends it, then it's obviously a great place to start. This next one I am ridiculously excited for as well, because that is The Last Dog on Earth by Adrian J. Walker, but again this is in the genre of books narrated by dogs, which is just the best genre. I've done a video about it before because it's just amazing, like Art Race in the Rain by Garth Stein, The Last Family in England by Matt Haig. It's just the best genre. It's just amazing. Dogs narrating books. Obviously they've got a different view on the world to humans, and even though humans writing the dog and it's not the actual dog speaking, you know what I mean, it's still hilarious, funny, and apparently this dog's all sweary and like a funny, like roguish dog. And I just can't wait to see what happens. I have no idea what the plot is about, because that isn't really my interest at this point, but I'm definitely going to pick this one up sooner rather than later, because it just seems like a brilliant book to start off January. The next book is another one of John Green's recommendations, and that is Piecing Me Together by Renee Watson. And the reason why I wanted this one in particular is because I love The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, but I wanted to read more about people of colour, particularly black girls who are making their way in the world, and also this is about a private school, which I like reading about schools and universities, and just how she wants to be seen as someone blazing the way for her own future. And I'm just expecting this book to be like both uplifting, heartbreaking, but just really empowering, and I'm really excited for it. And this is the second book of the poetry that I really want to pick up, and that is The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur, because I've heard a lot about Milk and Honey and I wanted to read it, but I feel like because I've seen like the poems on Twitter and Tumblr, why don't I just pick up the new one, and then it'll be like discovering the poems for myself rather than reading it and thinking, oh, I've seen that before. So I'm really excited to get around to this one. Probably going to pick up this one sooner rather than later as well, after A Court of Wings and Ruin, maybe between that and the buddy read me and Laura are doing for A Court of Mist and Fury. The next book I have is Monster by Michael Grant, because I'm a huge fan of the Gone series, and I'm on a reread at the minute because I wanted to finish it by the time this came out, but look, it's in paperback already, and I found it in What W.H. Smith, and it's going to be great. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to love it as much as the Gone series, because the main character in this I think is Decca, and she wasn't my favourite character in the Gone series, but also it's going to be back in the world, and it's going to be back in that like similar style of Michael Grant's writing, which I do find quite captivating. So I'm looking forward to seeing if this one lives up to expectations. Talking about living up to expectations, I have Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, apparently one of the best ones in the series so far, which is both like confusing, unnerving. Someone who hasn't read Empire of Storms yet. We've spoke about this a lot before, so I'm not going to go on for much longer, but I'm just hoping it's good, because obviously kaur. The next book is We Are Okay by Nina Lacour, which is absolutely a gorgeous book, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted it, but also just for the fact that it's got a female protagonist and she runs away from home, and it just sounds intriguing and something that I really would like to read about, but it is just beautiful. That was kind of the reason why. And obviously I've heard lots of good things about it. The next book is hilarious because along the same lines of his previous book, his debut book, this is The Inexplicable Logic of My Life by Benjamin Alire Sons. A long title for a long author name, and don't we love saying it every single time, because what more do you want from Benjamin Alire Saenz when he talks about gay people and Mexican people and gives people just voices? And I just love it. I just loved Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. It was the most pure, loving book ever. And as much as I enjoyed it, I want to read more like it. So I'm so glad that he's keeping with what he loves and what he loves to write about, because it's good for everybody really, especially for those who loved his last book, because I'm seeing very similar themes, but it's going to be absolutely amazing and I'm really excited for this one. And if you saw my resolutions video, you know that I wanted to read more about people with OCD, because John Green means a lot to me, and I didn't even realise until recently, when he's been really open about it with Turtles All the Way Down, that he has had to cope with anxiety and OCD. I knew about the anxiety, but like OCD in particular, for a really long time. So I picked up The Man Who Couldn't Stop by David Adam, which is like a memoir about how he copes with his OCD. So those were all the books that I got for Christmas, and also books that I bought myself in January. I'm so excited to read them all. There's so many. I really enjoyed doing a book haul this big. I forgot to mention in my New Year's resolution video that one of my resolutions is to do more book hauls, because I love sitting down and talking about new books that I've got to make really excited for them. So if you've read any of these or you've got any more recommendations, do let me know in the comments, because I'd love to start chatting to you all again and reading some more of your recommendations. And yeah, if you want to let me know which ones I should read first, I'll be more than happy, because I don't know how I'm going to choose out of all of those amazing books. So I will see you on the next video, guys. Bye!